Hello, my name is Nicole, and I'm going to be doing a book review on Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. Yet another Vonnegut review. I love Kurt Vonnegut. Slaughterhouse-Five is a great book, by the way. It's about the firebombing of Dresden, essentially, and a bunch of other stuff. To give you a hint on how much other stuff, I'm going to read you the official title, because the work also has another, longer title. It's on the Slaughterhouse-Five, or the Children's Crusade, A Duty Dance with Death, by Kurt Vonnegut, a fourth-generation German low living in easy circumstances on Cape Cod and smoking too much, who, as an American infantry scout hors de combat, as a prisoner of war, witnessed the firebombing of Dresden, Germany, the Florence of Elbe, a long time ago and survived to tell the tale. This is a novel somewhat in the Telegraphic schizophrenic manner of tales of the planet Tralfamadore, where the flying saucers come from. Peace. Isn't that amazing? I just really like that title. I think it's witty. I think it's very Vonnegut. This is a story about Vonnegut, and he was supposed to work at, he worked at Sports Illustrated, and he was supposed to write this, like, horse, article about some stupid horse racer or whatever, and he couldn't think of anything to say. I mean, he's not a sports writer, he's barely a journalist. I doubt that he was a journalist, and it was, and what he didn't know what to write, so he was just like, the horse jumped over the fucking fence and left. And then that's what he wrote for his article. I thought that was lovely. I think that's a very good Vonnegut story. It just describes him perfectly. I really like Kurt Vonnegut. Anyways, back to Slaughterhouse-Five. In this book, Vonnegut himself starts out, and he's talking about how he wants to write a book about his experiences at Dresden and during World War II, and being a World War II veteran and all that stuff. And then it falls into the story of Billy Pilgrim. And Billy Pilgrim is this optometrist, but before then, he's this like lower class-ish guy, lower middle class guy that lives in a small town called Ilium, and he ends up going over to overseas during World War II, and he wasn't very trained as a private or anything. He just like happened to be there. It was like he just sort of tumbled into World War II towards the end, and it was just really bad, and he ended up like getting lost, and he was with a bunch of guys who also were lost, and they helped him, and the main guy that helped him, that made him keep on going, was Ronald Weary, and he was just like this very terrible, rude guy that beat him regularly because he felt some sort of like divine ordinance to help him. But they eventually get captured by the Germans, and they end up in Slaughterhouse-Five, and you hear about all of that stuff, and you learn about that. And Slaughterhouse-Five, Vonnegut actually went through that, and so it was sort of autobiographical. Like, because in the beginning, he talks about how he was in Slaughterhouse-Five, and it's not complete fiction, I guess, because the beginning, the lead to the story, because there's a frame story, I guess, is that he experienced being in Slaughterhouse-Five, and he wanted to write about it, and that's what he did. And this guy, Billy Pilgrim, it like chronicles his life after experiencing all the things that occurred in World War II, and the sort of events that occurred during World War II as well, and his interchanges with soldiers, English soldiers and Russian soldiers and German soldiers. And then it chronicled him marrying his wife, Valencia Merble, and she was just this obese heiress, and he married her just like have a safe life. But before then, he ended up in a crazy house, which is really interesting. And he talks about reading the books from Kilgore Trout, who's this like science fiction author that's not known very much. And if you've read The Breakfast of Champions, that's all about Kilgore Trout, so you should check that out, and I'll do a book review on that eventually. So this is a really good book, and there's also the Tralfamadorians and how, like, it goes through time, and like how they view time and how they view it linearly. It's how we view it linearly, like one thing happens after the other, and they view it like everything's happening all at once, and that's really interesting. And basically the thing that I got the most from the novel was the quote, "So it goes," and that's a Tralfamadore is saying whenever someone dies. It's like, so it goes. This is life. This is what happens. And it's very interesting. And all of this wraps together, the Tralfamadorians and Slaughterhouse-Five, and they're like little sporadic stories thrown on top of each other throughout the book, and it's very interesting. And I just love it. It's so good. It's such a good book, and it was written so well. And I encourage you to check it out. I understand why it's considered the 18th like best American novel of the 20th century, because it's amazing. It should be the first, or maybe, I don't know. I don't think I've read anything that has changed my life this much. It really has changed my life a lot. After reading it, I'm viewing things completely different, and I love it, and I encourage everyone to read it. So check it out. I hope you enjoy your day. Bye.